This is the plugin stack you need if you own a web agency and are developing a website with the WordPress and Elementor Pro. I own a web agency where we use exactly this stack, and I'll just show you how efficient and how smart the processes can be if you're using these things. So follow along. So first of all, let's take a look inside of one of our developer sites. So if you just go to the backend right away and we go into the plugins, then we can see that we have, of course, we don't have updated the plugins yet, but one of the things we recommend the most is you have admin and site enhancer or enhancements. So if you just configure this one, we can see exactly what this does. So this one is basically, it takes all the plugins you already use and basically just form them in one plugin instead of having 10 or 20 different plugins. For example, this SVG file, so we can upload SVG files on top of your WordPress. That is not a normal thing. So here you have the duplicate content, we have content orders, we have SVG upload, and a lot of other things. So these are the main things we use. We have some admin interface as well. If you want to hide some notifications that could be annoying for your clients, they can see a lot of different ads and reviews, sections, notification in their backend, so you can hide those. There's also some login features you can add if you want a specific login, like change the login URL. So hackers, for example, or bots can't find it normally. Then you can add some custom code that is also available inside of Elementor Standard Edition, so you don't really need to have this one though. Then we have disable components. Normally we hate Gutenberg, so we don't even use that stuff. Then we have disable all comments, so we don't get those spam comments. Disable REST API if you want that. We can disable the feeds, disable all the updates. This one is great if you're actually doing maintenance for your clients. So in our agency, we do maintenance for a bunch of our clients, and just make sure that they don't update things they should not update. Then we have this feature on. And that means that once in a month, we manually goes in and check all the plugins, like are the plugins up to date with what we want to update, and have we written all the, or have been reading all the logs about the news updates, and are those new plugins compatible with each other. So after we have made that research, we basically go we go in and update all of the client sites, and you can click this one to make sure your client can't update the site. Then when you go in and update it, you can just disable this one again. Then there's a lot of different other things we don't use that much. We have some security stuff. Then we disable XML RPC, that is fine. Optimization stuff, we don't use this one as much because we use the VPMU stack with Smush to make images better and so on. Then we have some utilities. You can have some password protection. For example, if you have a developer site and so on, you can protect the site so no one can find it. So that's all sorts of smart features in here that we just use generally a lot. Then we have duplicator. This is if you want to duplicate your website on top of a new domain. So we use that to basically take a themes and put in or take a pre-built website we have optimized and put it on the client's website, and then we can basically build it or just launch it when we finish on the client's domain. So that is also a feature. Then of course we have Elementor Pro. Then we have Lightspeed Cache. So we use Lightspeed Cache sometimes. You can also use VP Rocket, but Lightspeed Cache is free. And Lightspeed Cache, there's a lot of good features in there, but we have tested some different things, and just to make sure that what you're running, there's really like a great cache plugin for everything. It kind of depends on what you're using. We use Lightspeed a lot in our end with the hosting provider we use. But you can also use VP Rocket, and you can also use NitroPack. NitroPack we use on some of the bigger clients we have when it comes to e-commerce, because that just makes the site extremely fast. And we cannot really get that feature by using Lightspeed or VP Rocket when we're talking about the bigger websites. Then we have simple custom post orders. And this one is only enabled because let's say you have let's say you have a blog post and you want to decide which one is on top and on bottom. It could be a web shop where you want to decide, like, take it from the order. So by having that feature, you can just manually you can manually pick which order you want it in. And if you go inside of settings and SCP order, we can see that right now it's disabled, but you can enable all of these and update them. And we can even go into pages and we can just drag and drop these ones. So everything you can drag and drop, and have it in the right order if you want to just make it look nicer for your own sake. Then if we go a bit deeper, we have WP Media Folder. WP Media Folder is a great plugin that makes it easier for your media library. So we can actually see the different things we have here. So here we can make maps and all this, but this is a paid plugin, so you have to go and buy this stuff. You can buy a pretty big package, but if you have a big agency, then that would make sense. Next step would be, if you know WPMU is one of the greatest stack plugins that we use, because you can get so many features for such a good price. So you have something like Smush that can improve your website speed and compromise all the images. It scans the entire site, compromise them, make the files smaller, convert them to WebP files, and just locate like which files are maybe damaged. So this is highly recommended. We have Forminator. Forminator is a feature you can add if you're making some advanced forms. We have that on some clients' website, but I would say normally we don't even install this stack or this plugin. Then we have Defender. That is the security plugin we use on most cases for like the basic layer of security. So you can activate that one within the WPMU agency pack. So you can basically charge your clients, or at least make sure that the security on the site is pretty high, so it's hard to get in. Then we have Hummingbird. That's also a caching plugin. You have to take care when you're using Hummingbird. We have found a lot of issues and some bugs in Hummingbird, so we don't use that much Hummingbird. We use mostly either, as I said before, Lightspeed, Lightspeed, Nitro pack, and then WP Rocket. Smart Crawl, that is the SEO plugin. So the SEO we use on the SEO, I can't even speak. The SEO work we do for our client and make sure that the SEO fundament is correct, we all do through Smart Crawl. Sometimes Yoast, but Smart Crawl really do, I would say, the same job. And then we of course have something like a ref. So that's a ref. You can also use SEMrush, but we use Morningscore, and you can use Ahrefs as well to have a better SEO understanding and make a good strategy of what keyword you want to target. But the work is done inside of Smart Crawl. So all the titles and the analysis and the site kit and site map you can upload. We have Brander. You can use Brander to basically brand the website. That means we can put the logo on the login screen and so on. I can just take really quick a client's website. So this is, for example, one of the login sites we have for our clients, just to brand it a little bit more exclusive, that it looks like not a standard WordPress site. So it's a bit of a higher end. So if you're selling websites for 10K, 5K, it just looks better if you just make a brand on top of what you're selling. So this could also give you a little bit of value. So let's go back here. That is with Brander. We have Beehive. That is also, I would say, a tracking and SEO tool. You can see how good is it going with all the stats. We don't use that much. Beehive, you have different options like the Google Site Kit, and Beehive is just like the same. We don't use it that much. I don't think you need to know much more about the rest. We don't use the rest that much, but if you just go inside of the plans, we can see that the Pro plugins, let's go into the pricing, because it's actually pretty cheap. So basically you can have one website it's like $15 a month where you get the entire stack. You can also get a higher package the first year, then you can like buy an entire year pretty cheap. Yeah, so this is like one site, 3 sites, 10 sites, and unlimited. We have the unlimited site in our agency, but highly recommend this if you want to scale an agency and you want to sell a lot of things you can take money on, or take money from, and build that recurring payment. We all know if you own a web agency, you can't really just do the one-time payment. You need to have the hosting, you need to have SEO, maybe security, like a monthly updates for all the plugins, and then maybe they could buy some kind of every month you go in a couple of hours and do some work for them, so changing some stuff up. So that could be something you can implement in your company. And the next step would be Mailgun. So Mailgun, what it does, it defends the domain and the email. So when you are trying to get a new password through the website, or maybe you create a new user, you actually receive the mail. Sometimes it comes in spam, but if you don't do this, it will come in spam every time, 100%. So what we basically also do is we add Mailgun. So Mailgun is also a paid service, but it's actually pretty cheap as well. So here we have a bunch of clients and they're only paying, like we're paying the $15 a month for this. And we of course take a monthly fee for all our clients to set this stuff up, make sure that all the emails don't hit spam and it have the right security measures so people can't go in and spoof the mail. This is a pretty nice plugin for that. And next step would be Google Sitekit. So if you just type Google, then it would come up as the first example, and then we can basically just go in and download this one when the site goes live, and that way we can right away take and collect all the data coming in and we can see where we are. So if you do this first and you upload the sitemap after, that means that you don't have to verify yourself because it can already see that you are the owner of the site by doing this. So that is also pretty great. If you also want to build the site a bit quicker, like we do, we use Elementor. I made a video, I can link here as well, if I can find it here. So we bought the lifetime package actually last week, and you can go and look at the video. I'll link it in the description as well about me explaining what it does. But it's basically just a media component library for everything you would ever need, both in designing in Figma and also building the websites quicker. So this is the building blocks, or you can say the skeleton of whatever you want to build, and you can design it afterwards. That would just make your process way easier, and it will save you so much time as well. If you enjoyed the video, you can also watch more of our videos or join the Performance Hub here, where we basically have a free community on Discord where I will be in there sometimes working, and then you can also join if you want to learn a little bit more about web development, growing a company like we have, a bit more than 10K a month. And basically it's just like a free tool if you want to get started with the agency, or you want to at least have something to someone to speak with that have the same you can say company style, or actually want to do something in this niche. I hope you guys liked the video. See you.